Before I get started and go into my part 2 of my journey on how I overcame H. pylori, SIBO, 15 types of parasites, gosh, just so many things. I want you guys to check the link below and go watch part 1 first of how I figured everything out and where I got to where I am today. So go check out part 1, link below. My part 1 journey was SIBO, H. pylori, and today we are gonna start off right where we left off. And where we left off, so I just found out that I had H. pylori very, very bad. And this is part 2 of 4 parts of my journey, because just like anything in life, guys, weight loss, building muscle, your health, nothing is linear. And what I mean by that is we have our periods of highs, feeling our best. We have periods of lows. If we're on weight loss, we'll have weeks where we are maintaining our weight, where we may gain weight, and then all of a sudden the scale drops a few. And the same was with my my journey on figuring out what the true cause of my gut issues were, of this severe distension, of feeling like I had just tons of pain and water and everything just sitting in my stomach 24/7 to where I couldn't get my mind off of it. So I'm gonna start and we're just gonna take it right from there. So as you guys, after you watch part 1, you guys now know that I just figured out I had H. pylori, and I decided to do, I took notes. I decided to do Matula tea. So when you guys get H. pylori, a lot of the times the doctor, and one more thing, guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose anything. Like, I'm just sharing my experience. But when you get H. pylori, a lot of the times, even if you Google it, they do this type of like triple therapy. They put you on these medications that kill it off, so you can get rid of it, heal the stomach, get rid of the ulcers, and boom. And what happened was I had such high amounts of H. pylori. I did the triple therapy, I turned yellow, and my stomach swelled up even more. I was in tears. I felt so ill from the triple therapy. And when I went, it wasn't working for me. So me and my dad researched, we found this thing called Matula tea. It's this tea that's like around $300. You drink it in a concentrate form 2 times a day. And it's a blend of different herbs that actually helps promote healing your gut lining, healing and sealing the gut, bringing the inflammation down. There's herbs in there that are known for eradicating H. pylori. And they even have like a money back guarantee of if you do the whole 30-day of the tea, and you wait 30 days and then you retest, and if your tests are positive, they give you your money back. So I'm like, you know what? There is nothing to lose. So I ordered the tea. I got the Matula tea, and I decided to kind of customize it with doTERRA essential oils. And I've done herbs to kill the parasites. I've done all these different things, and I just was trying to find that one thing that would get me where I want to go, which was rid of my digestive issues and feeling my best. So number 1, my protocol that I planned for my H. pylori. So I plan on doing the Matula tea for 30 days. I found a few different like doTERRA friends of mine, and I went to some of their workshops. I started learning about different food grade essential oils, things like peppermint, rubbing things on your stomach to help with balancing your hormones or getting rid of gas and bloating, or utilizing fennel. So I found a few essential oils that I was taking internally, and I was getting like the purest out there. And then I also had a few that I was using topically to help balance my hormones, to help with gas and bloating. And just to name a few that I was using like on my stomach, there's one called Digest Zend that was peppermint, fennel, some lavender, and that I would rub in my stomach from ascending to descending colon after a meal to help with digestion, to help with gas, bloating. I was also using like on my bottoms of my feet, as well as behind my ears and on my wrists, I was using a blend with geranium in it, Vitex, and different like lavender and stuff to help relax your mind, to help with anxiety, and to help balance your hormones, because digestion, hormones, they're all related. So I was doing the Matula tea for my protocol. I was also doing different herbs. I was taking my digestive enzymes and my HCl and my diet. So this is where I made a huge change. As I talked about, I was like doing my vegan thing for a while, and then I started adding back in eggs and some like bone broth and stuff, but I actually decided to try something completely different. And I'm an extremist, you're gonna learn that. And what it is, it's almost called a liquidarian diet. And I found this guy on YouTube. His name was Dr. Robert Kassar. He started off more on a like keto, elixir, liquidarian, and he explains everything. He had these things called the 7 liquids of vitality. So it's like hibiscus tea, you ferment blue-green algae and throw like amethyst crystals in it, and you have your concoctions with fulvic acid. And what I decided to do was I did a ton of research on just like H.PYLORI, parasites, SIBO, the best diets that work for that. And I was looking at what I was doing. So originally I was doing all the bananas, tons of carbs. I was doing hundreds of carbs a day when I was just eating raw vegan. I was, like I said, I would have like 8 bananas with some dates for just breakfast, a ton of mangoes for lunch. It was straight sugar and carbs. And I was like, you know what? Insulin, sugar, carbs, this does not sound good for bacteria. So I found this guy, Dr. Robert Kassar. He was doing more of a keto diet. He was doing these elixirs. The elixirs were meant to alkalize the body. There was chlorella, spirulina, blue-green algae in it. It was a higher plant-based protein diet. So I did use a pea protein, a hemp protein to make sure I was getting complete protein. And I spent the next 6 months, I'd say the next year. I spent the next year following this diet, and I'm gonna go out and outline the diet now. I did my protocol. I got off my protocol. I stayed on my enzymes and just focused on diet, stress reduction, and healing. And this is the diet I was following during that time of getting rid of the H.PYLORI. So I was making 3 elixirs a day in my Vitamix blender. That blender, bomb. In these elixirs, I went from a diet that was primarily, literally, like 80-90% fruit, very little protein, very little fat. Now I switch over to, I started incorporating more meat and stuff, and then I try out this liquidarian diet. So each drink had this in it. It had a bunch of coconut oil for healthy fats, for killing off bad bacteria. Coconut's antiviral, antibacterial, good fat. So I got my coconut oil, MCT, bomb. I was adding in L-glutamine and a few other herbs for healing and sealing the lining of the gut. I was doing chia seeds in there for healthy fiber, and because it was blended too, everything was so broken down, it was very easy to digest. But I was doing hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, coconut oil, avocado. I was making these high-fat drinks. I was using a base of almond milk or water. I was throwing in there tons of different like blue-green algae, spirulina, and chlorella in there to make it very green, very alkalizing. And then I had my protein powder that I got from the doctor. It was all plant-based, and I was keeping it simple. I was having 3 meals a day. In these drinks, I put so much healthy fats, so much just like maca for balancing your hormones, cinnamon for balancing your blood sugar levels. My protein was in there, my fiber. Like, I just made superfood elixirs, and they ended up being around 600 to 700 calories each because I put a lot of healthy fats in there and a lot of protein in there, things that my body was depleted in, things that my body needed because I spent all this time detoxing and breaking down my body, and I needed the healthy fats for my liver to repair, for the protein for my hair, my skin. I needed the building blocks, the healthy protein, the healthy fats, what I feel like people are very scared to have. They think fat will make them fat, but your body needs these things to bring down the inflammation, to recover and to heal. So I finished my protocol. I stayed on this diet. Other than those 3 elixirs I did each day, I was having 7 liquids throughout the day of vitality. So I was making my own kombucha, which, to be honest, I'm gonna talk about that in the future. I don't think that was a positive on my gut. But I was making kombucha out of the yerba mate tea. I was making the hibiscus drink for blood sugar. I was making the fermented blue-green algae drink. I was making my elixir throughout the day. I was making a morning greens juice, and then like a turmeric concoction thing. And if you guys Google Dr. Robert Kassar, he has tons and tons of videos. But basically, I went from a very high carb, low fat, high sugar, low protein diet to a very high fat, moderate protein. Basically, I went keto. Your girl was keto for a year. You name it, I've done it. Vegan, keto, all of that. And I started feeling so good. So good. I felt like my stomach was healing. I started, and you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but if you guys have digestive issues, you constantly feel pain in your stomach all the time. And I started to not feel like my stomach. I'm like I don't feel pain. I don't feel anything. Like, I feel good. So I finished the protocol. I said, I finished the Matula tea. I stayed on the essential oils. I stayed on my, I stayed on my digestive enzymes, and then I stayed on like certain essential oils to help also with my adrenals. So I was taking care of my digestion, taking care of my adrenals, and then in these concoctions I was making, I was just making sure that I had all of the building blocks to repair, all of like the L-glutamine, the slippery elm, all the demulcent herbs in there to help heal and seal my lining of my gut, because it was very compromised. And I talk about this in videos past that I'll link below for you guys about when you are going through digestive issues, you don't want to add too many supplements in too fast or too many new foods in too fast until you work on healing your gut. You want to heal the gut so that the foods aren't leaking through your bloodstream, causing more food allergies, more sensitivities. You got to heal the gut. So I spent a good year stopping cleansing, stopping colon cleansing, stopping all of that, and allowed my body with this more keto, liquid, easy to digest diet to heal. And I truly started feeling really good, guys. I started my bodybuilding journey then. But I don't want you guys to stop here, because this is just the start, and I took notes. I want to pull these out because I want to make sure I hit everything. So I had the H.PYLORI, the Matula tea, the oils. I did the liquid diet. This is actually this is where I stopped working on running, and I changed my entire training. I stopped focusing on just like trying to burn a ton of calories through my training. I focused on adding in daily walks to help with my cortisol levels, to help with my stress response. And I would do these walks like 20 minutes after dinner. And that actually helps with digestion. And I also started incorporating bodybuilding. And this is where I first started my bodybuilding journey. I let go of the running. I made myself a 5-day strength training split, and my goals right now were to spend the time, number 1, keep healing the gut, start a reintroductory diet and get more foods in my diet. Number 2, I was having a lot of body dysmorphia still. I still was really fighting the eating disorder. I had a hard time letting go of the running, hard time letting go of the cardio, even though I wanted to build my body and I wanted to do things that were more health promoting for me, because I was really focusing on healing my gut. And you can't run your body down. That was very hard for me. And a lot of that was because I was still stuck into the mindset is if you're gonna eat the food, you need to burn the food off. So I started focusing on, I was battling a lot with my eating disorder, but this is when I said, you know what, I'm gonna start this bodybuilding journey, and I'm gonna spend the next few years building my body, starting to track my macros, and kind of go into this building phase and see if I could overcome my eating disorder, build my body, get my digestive system strong again, and get myself to a really good place. And for part 3, wait guys, for part 3, I'm going to be going into, I have a lot to discuss. So I actually ended up relapsing. In the next part, I'm going to be going into this, but I ended up relapsing with something completely different, which was the underlying cause of my digestive issues to begin with, something I did not know. So I ended up relapsing again, and getting something else and trying a different diet. And then I have the whole, still don't have my period, but want to get my hormones back on track, and I'm going to take you guys through all that as well, but I'm trying to just break it up into little tiny chunks so that I can share everything in as much detail to help you guys. So first, go check out Leaky Gut, my journey. I'm linking that below for you guys. Then watch this one. I'm going to be putting a part 3 up next, going into what caused a relapse and what the relapse with my digestive issues was. I have since then tried around 4 different other diets, and I'm going to be going into each one of those, FODMAP diets, all of those, elimination. I'm going to be going into all of that for you guys in future videos in my part 3 and my part 4. So make sure you guys got those on. And if you guys have any type of digestive issues, if you need help, reach out to me. I'll put my email below. I would love to help you. Someone put a comment below the other day and they were like, you know, Elizabeth, how long did it take you to heal? And I'm gonna be honest, it took me 7 years, but everything I learned on these 7 years, I'm able now to like, boom, 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 trigger point these with my clients so that we could heal things and figure out the main cause fast and get around these testing fast. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Again, if you need anything, put it below. Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at ElizabethAylorFitness. And get ready because part 3 is going, I feel like it's getting to kind of like where you guys are gonna feel it. I feel like a lot of you guys have more of the SIBO issues. That's where the SIBO is coming in, and I'm gonna be talking about next about SIBO, testing that I did, things that did and didn't work, and I'm excited.